Oh, welcome back my gardening friends. I haven't got my microphone, but sometimes my videos are better without it. And these are what I'm going to be up to in November. He says, hopefully, a nice bit of sunshine, nice bit of black sky as well. But don't forget the thumbs up or a thumbs down for the interaction. And why not consider subscribing if you like the content. So we shan't mess about in here. I might pull a few of the bigger weeds out, but we shan't be in the fruit cage until between Christmas and New Year. Jerusalem artichokes still haven't flowered yet. They have little sunflower heads. So they can stay for a while. The asparagus, it's not time for that yet. There's still berries on it. The birds are still feeding off those. And we want all the strength out of the ferns to go back down into the crowns. And then we can think about topping up those underground worm farms. And I think it'll be manure I'll be topping up the bed this year. I do change it around. We'll be keeping an eye on the sprouts. They're looking quite nice. The kale, not so good. Green manure, we'll keep an eye on that. We can chop and drop that another month, not in November. We've got plenty of carrots. We've got the fruit cuttings all done and dusted. Most of the beds now have been covered. The sheep's wool there, cardboard here. I definitely going to do more green manure. Climate change and everything else, we all need to do as much as we can by leaving as much greenery in over the winter as we can. Keep topping these compost bins up, and we'll have to see if we've got any parsnips in here. Those don't look too bad, but I'll be doing a parsnip and vegetable reveal in the month of November. Some more of these beds have been topped up. So we had manure in 2023, grow organic in 2024. It was easier to use grow organic than manure. We've got some maintenance to do on the pallet collars. I've managed to get some more walking onions in. They're the mother walking onions. They started sprouting, so I thought, sod it, we'll put them in. The walking onions are the baby ones as the plane goes over. And there again, we used green manure, white clover in 2023, and grow organic in 24. And there's the silver skin onions experiment. So the large bulb went there, and then we minimised it, but I'm not sure whether they'll grow or they'll just go to seed. I don't think they'll split, but if you don't try, you'll never know. Manure 2024. These are the golden gourmet shallots that I saved. They're in one of the corner of one of the beds where we had the courgettes, and I was surprised how many bulbs were on them. So they're all free. Can't beat free. I've got to finish off preparing the bean bed. Done most of them, but we'll do a little video on that. I'm going to just have to dismantle this, put something in the bottom, and I'm going to use this as my sifting area, because my 3-4 year old wood chips are here. Oh, sorry. That's what it looks like. Obviously they've dried out a little bit. We've got our homemade compost there with the potatoes. The compost here that's unscrupulously dumped with the perlite in. And then I've emptied the grey sacks, the grey bags of the unscrupulous dumped compost. There was 1600 litres. That's in there. My garlic's under there. I planted my garlic with all the wet weather we're having. I put some cardboard on it, and now I've put some pallets on it, and now I've put this on it. You're saying, what's he up to now? Well, that's one tank out. I've just got to figure out how to get it to plot 1. Cape gooseberries there. I don't know whether they're still supposed to be on, but they're still on and they're still drying. Just taking one or two. I'm definitely going to grow those again next year, but I'm going to plant them where I can get at them. We've all got the grey 39 litre cloth sacks drying out there. Guess who are they for? Pop it in the comments. I'm going to be planting these potatoes, the seed potatoes that have got potatoes, and now they've started growing and they're going to sprout more potatoes, so might be able to get a crop of potatoes from them January, February, March maybe. Celery is still looking good, and we've still got tomatoes to harvest, and this is where I store all my potatoes. Just keep them damp, keep topping them up with a little bit of water. Harvest them when we need them. So I've got a bit of work to do here. Put some pallets down, maybe some wood chips, then move everything here, restack everything, and I might be able to get my chair back. He says, but I still haven't found my axe, guys. My axe is still here somewhere. I hid it so nobody could find it. I still haven't found it. We'll get there, we'll find it. But I have bought another one. You know what happens when you buy another axe? I'll find the old one. The strawberries are looking a little bit sorry for themselves. They're looking still healthy, but I do need to get in there, do a bit of work. I need to collect all the soil that the red ants have picked up. You might be able to see it better there at the end of that, far end of that red tube. I'll harvest those, top it up with a bit of fresh. There's the kohlrabi, waiting for that to go to seed, and there's a carrot there waiting for that to go to seed. Might be next year when it does, but I'm not saving any runners this year, because these are all last year's 2023's runners. Done quite well, especially in this netted cage. I need to sort this compost out as well that we found. I don't know how much is there now, so I couldn't add it to the board because the bit of paper blew away. And in the future I'm going to halve the amount of blackberry stems I've got, and half the raspberries, and I'm just going to have them in one row, so there'll be half blackberries and half raspberries. That'll free up another space here, maybe for some of those white currants that we've got. Dahlias still looking nice. One or two are anyway. Some of these new pallet collar beds have been sorted, got the manure layer in. I've got to sort this one out. This is going to be for potatoes, and possibly this one for the giant potatoes, that is. And unfortunately, rookie error, this pallet collar is oversized, bigger than the rest, so that needs to go on top of a pallet collar, so I've got to empty it again. I always normally stack two on together before I line them and fill them, but no, not this bloke. I need to get all the bulbs out of there, the tree root and stump out. I always leave a nice height on the stump so that you can use it as a lever. I want to transfer those into a container, the bulbs that is. And that pallet collar must be 10-15 years old now. It's showing its age. Another job for November. We'll be tidying all this up, pulling out the volunteer raspberry runners from wherever they are, and again in the future I'll be reducing the size of this just to a couple of crowns. I'm not having much success in large rhubarb, and I think 2 crowns would be more than enough for me. Now they're well established, and I may even dig one out and leave it on the surface over the winter like I did before over on plot 3 all those years ago. They say they do better. We will see. There's an awful lot, at least 2,000 litres of compost under here. It's the compost with the added perlite. I managed to cover it, so hopefully it's not too wet to handle. I can do that as a count up. These beds, as we've previously said, are sinking because they are new. We've got sheep's wool on one, and there's hardly any weeds. in there, and I've reweeded the, not wood chips, it's leaf mould, 4-year-old leaf mould. I said wood chips in a previous video. So you can use leaf mould, but I might have to cover it with cardboard. One manure bay is empty, the other one we're using it now. Some of these beds all tidied up, all labelled with what material we've had. I've collected another load of the horrible manure, not the nuggets. Let's have a look, see what's in there. It's the stuff with the shavings in and the odd, the urine and everything else. There's some of the nuggets, that's what we normally collect. But I do like those other compost bags, they do come in useful. A few bags of the material left that is in the beds, so that's a good old mixture, soil and everything else, holds the moisture well. Another skip find, local skip. I've got 2 more pieces at home. I just need to bring those up. I'll have to carry them, they're too big to get on the wheelbarrow, easier to carry them, so I've got those. I might be able to use those up there. So we've got some material there for the allotment bonfire. We've collected 1 bag of leaves. We've got rid of one of the pallet collar beds there. There's a couple of pallets there, that pallet collars, but we've got some material there we can use. I still need to get in here and tidy this up, but this is now being a dumping ground. I've got 3 decent pallet collars there that I found. This soil's heavily weeded now, but it will be going into these galvanised tanks over there. Comfrey's growing nicely, but that'll die back soon. Lots of mushrooms, so we're getting the everything right. Out wheeling my wheelbarrow the other day. Oh dear, it did go with a pop. Fripped me to death. You can't ring the AA guys. I had to go and get me other barrow quick before everybody pinched what was on it. Anyway, yeah, we've moved a few things, protected them. Some pallets from here. When I take that pallet off, that new tank is the right height from that block of wood there. But I want to try and get all these holly leaves out before I pick up the straw that was used, unless I use the straw down below. You might just see a log there for the hedgehog or the rats. I want to try and extend this out all the way across. It should end up about there, giving me plenty of room to get to my giant wormery. But I built all this in way back when I started. But that's hashtag starting a new allotment series 1. I'll put them on the end screen again for you, for anybody that wants to have a look. I need to find a home for the cardboard. It'll probably end up being dumped on top of the leaf mould that we collected in 2022. We'll have a look at the board in a minute. But those panels were there to stop the holly coming through. But as you can see, we didn't succeed, but it ain't been too bad. Just need to tidy all that up. All this area now and this area here feeds all those barrels down there. I've got 4 more barrels at home, but I'm using from the DIY as supports for the skirting board and the doors when we varnish them, etc. But it's interesting to look back on all the videos that I made, and I reused all the bricks and everything in the Inoculants under these tanks. But these tanks are now holed, so I'll make bigger holes and then we'll fill them up, and it'll be a nice shaded area to grow my salad crops, hopefully, he says. And my alpine strawberries, they're on a mountain. I thought that was better. I can now grab my strawberries instead of being flat. So they've had a bit of manure, and I've topped these up. All for free, of course, because of the compost that we find and the everything else. There's me leaf, and that's the leaf mould from 2021. Still not used it all at the moment. I'm going to put the bird boxes up, guys, this year. Honest, I am. Wouldn't tell you a fib. Didn't collect any leaf mould last year, 2023. 2024, we've got 1 bag, but it's not a full bag. My little legs just won't push them up. I've rewritten this now. So since 2014, since when I started allotment here and I found my first 15 litre bag, we're right down now to I've found 50 with dry test on Thursday, guys, so you can see why. 40,200 litres, and I've still got to add those other 2 piles on this allotment in the black bags and what's under that plastic sheeting. So that would probably take me up to about 43,000 litres of compost. Remember, if we take, we need to give something back. So all the vegetables use the nutrients in the compost, that rots down. The microorganisms use that to feed our plants, and that's why our beds settle. That's why the compost bins settle so quickly. Same with compost. So we need to make our own, or else it's going to cost you a fortune. And I do need to tidy up the wildflower garden before the wildlife decide to move in. Make sure the badger and the squirrel who's holding his nuts, he won't be able to hold them in a few months' time if it gets too cold. We just need to tidy this up, because what we don't want to do is any creatures go in there and then we start disturbing them. So nice tidy up around here. Now the flowers and the weeds have finished flowering, and maybe I can even give the pelicans, a bit of a spray, tidy them up a bit. There's the Bocking 14 comfrey. There's the manure that is rotting down. Obviously it's more rotten at the bottom than it is at the top, but it doesn't matter. There's the charcoal. Unfortunately, we've had that much rain. That's nearly to the top. But I can put some of that on my compost bin. I can add some of that to the beds, and there's some of the compost that's been sorted. Just need to get these out, these bags. But well worth the effort. Just watch some of my videos. I'll put it on the end screen, the compost finds. Might give you a bit of a clue what to look out for. Poor old tulip bulbs that we had here. I popped them onto the allotment bench and they disappeared within 2 days. I'll use some of these in some containers to add to the bulbs that are in here, just so that I've got a nice display, and we'll add a few to the wildflower garden as well. Sorry looking dahlia, but it's nice when it was out. Please remember, thumbs up or a thumbs down before you leave. Leave me a comment, join in with the comments, give those comments a thumbs up, and why not consider subscribing? It's free. And a big thank you to everyone who watches my videos from the start to the finish. I do really appreciate it. That's the best way you can support my channel, so that I can renew my equipment occasionally. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Don't forget the end screens. Ta-ra for now.